So let's talk about a bookkeeping firm business plan. Like, what do you have to be aware of as the market is constantly changing? So let's be honest, right? Every single year, the market goes on a shift. And we're not talking about like a traditional firm and you've had your yearly tax clients. We're talking about if you're trying to grow an accounting business where the main service is monthly bookkeeping, things have really changed. So the main thing is you have to really start balancing the size and the type of clients. So let's talk about a bookkeeping firm business plan. So on social media, whether it's an ad or friend request or posting, you need leads. Now, leads, in my definition of leads, are people who are at bare minimum are financially qualified. Okay, so we talked about a little bit of qualification before, but in like different videos. But again, you can always look at what's 1% of the top line revenue they're going to be doing, and that's going to determine how much they can pay you per year. So you say, okay, their person is making, let's say they're making $500,000 per year. Okay, so I can basically go and say $500,000 per year. You divide that by, what is that? You divide it by 100, right? That's going to mean 5,000 is what they can pay for bookkeeping for the first year, right? So then you divide that by 12. That's about $450 a month. If that is below your minimum price point, that means that company is too small. If it's above your minimum price point, okay, that's good. They're financially qualified. Now they can always afford to pay you more money, but I want bare minimum worst case scenario to be at least at my threshold, right? So for me, if my minimum price point is $500 per month, that company at $500,000 per year in revenue would not qualify, right? So I need a company that's at least $600,000 per year in revenue to qualify. So if they don't do it, they're not a lead. Now, remember, one thing you need to do is you always need to know your numbers. Now, when I talk about knowing your numbers, you need to be able to understand how much work and how many people they have to speak to in order to get one client. So actually, in a minute, we can do a business plan where I can give you like metrics and stuff to follow. But first, let me just introduce what it is, okay? But so your plan is gonna be important because if you don't understand your numbers and you don't track every activity you do, what's gonna happen is our emotions can flare up, we get discouraged and we stop, right? So I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, when I was first starting this YouTube channel actually, YouTube had an algorithm update that reduced the number of views that most channels were getting. And I didn't know that. So I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm not getting as much views before. Maybe my videos are not doing well. Maybe I got shadow banned. I was panicking, right? Because I didn't know my numbers. And I almost stopped doing YouTube videos. What's the point of doing this YouTube video if YouTube can just shut down my traffic and my views? What's the point? Right? But then when I looked back and I looked at some numbers, I did some research, I started saying, okay, so every 6 months to 8 months, YouTube does an algorithm change or something that reduces the amount of views, which spreads it out to more like people on the platform, so more creators are called. And it's okay, so as soon as I knew that, I was no longer discouraged. And since I wasn't discouraged, I can keep moving forward, and now you still have those YouTube videos to this day. That was a number of years ago, but it's very important to know that. And remember, most people, almost every person on the planet, let's be honest, there's some people, maybe they don't feel emotions the same way other people do, right? But most people have emotions. And most people have an emotional battery, right? Now, for some people, that emotional battery can recharge. Like, my emotional battery can recharge very quickly. Sometimes, I'm more prone to getting annoyed or irritated, but I understand how to dissipate that irritation so I can get back to center and do what I need to do. But not a lot of people necessarily have that or have developed that skill set. So a lot of people have an emotional battery, and once that battery hits zero, they're done. And things that can drain the battery, getting rejected. Another thing, someone doesn't show up for a sales call. Another thing, a client doesn't pay you, or a client cancels with you, or maybe you don't have any clients, or maybe just a million different things. That's all going down. So if you don't have a way to regulate that battery and tell yourself, okay, so even though this is happening, this is negative, at least my numbers are showing this. If you don't have that, then it's very hard for you to consistently keep going. So you have to be really aware of that. Now, let's talk about what's a bookkeeping business plan example, okay? So let's say, for example, and I want to give you these are worst case scenario numbers, right? Now, for every 100 leads you have, one person should sign up with you. I remember I told that stat to someone. He was a mentor in the local, not like a business mentor, but just like a life mentor. And I was like, when it comes to social media, you're expecting out of every 100 people, maybe one person's gonna buy. I was like, what? that's really low. As compared to what? He was comparing it to like Walmart or Myers, right? Whenever someone goes into a Walmart, they're pretty much gonna buy. So like you're probably gonna get 9 out of 10 people that walk into a Walmart are going to buy. It's like, yeah, but they came to buy. Online, they don't necessarily come to buy. They come to spend time. They come to get to know about their family. Maybe they come to learn, right? So it's a different environment. So every 100 people, you should expect one of those people to sign up with you. Now, what that means though is that out of every 100 people, 50 of these leads, so half of these leads should end up like, sorry, not half of these leads, but for every 50 leads, you should get one consultation call. At least one consultation call. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you might get less. Now remember, so we said that you're gonna sign up 1 out of 100. That means that you should be signing people up at 50% of the time. So that means that if 2 people get on a sales consultation call with you, 1 of them should sign up with you. If not, you're behind the 8 ball. If you get both of them, you're ahead, right? Now, if that you charge $750 minimum, which I know maybe if you're watching this video, you've never had a client that price. Okay, cool. That's why you're here, right? So we're learning how to do that. But just for the sake of this example, let's say your minimum price point is $750 a month, and your revenue goal is $10K per month. Okay, at $750 a month, you're going to need 13 clients. And remember, you sign up 50% of the people you speak to on the call. So that means that you need 26 sales calls. And remember, every 50 leads equals 1 call. So if we do 50 times 26, that's about 1,300 leads. That means if your main prospecting tool is the internet, you need 1,300 people that know you exist, and potentially you could be at $10,000 a month. Now I know some people say that's a huge number, 1,300. Dude, you can get 3,000 followers in the span of 2 months. Like, it's not that hard. The easiest thing I would think about is just try and get 5 to 10 new business owners to know you exist every day. That's it. That's it. That takes you 5 to 10 minutes. Does not have to take you a long time. And remember, if you're doing referral partnerships, that can exponentially increase that number, right? So that can actually drop it. If let's say that you had that all your people who were following you were referral partners. Okay, you might only need 100 referral partners that you've been on the phone with and you've communicated how you can help them and how you can help their clients. At 100 referral partners, you could be at 6 figures as well. You can do it at 2 referral partners, really. Yeah, one of our students named Tammy, she got a 6-figure a year deal off of 1 referral partner. So you can have a referral partner that gives you 6 figures. And that is what we cover inside the book too. So that's another plug for why you should go in and check out the book. And again, if you want to go and get a copy of that and see what the pricing of $4.95 is, click the comment section below and type in 6FP and I'll send you a link to go purchase the book. Now, remember, if your metrics line up right, you can make this work really well, really effectively, right? For example, one of our students, she's a newer student, and I would consider her growth to be more of a grind just than do it. Now, when I say grind, it's not that it's hard and it's rough. It's just very consistent. Like, she is in full control of her growth. It took her about 2 months to get to 5,000 a month. So before she started working, like she's a very bubbly personality, very fun, and really wants to grow her business, but didn't really have any structure. So by adding more structure in her plans, okay, so you have to talk to this many people per day, you have to hit this many consultation calls. If you do this many consultation calls, you get a client. That just opened her world. Like, her eyes got big. She was like, whoa, that's all I need to do in order to go hit 6 figures. So again, it's about knowing your numbers and I'm doing it. She'll probably be at 10K per month in the next probably like 2, maybe 3 months. It depends if she takes, like, right now I'm filming this in October, so if she takes off December, then it might take her 3 months, like the beginning of January. But assuming she only spends like the holidays in December, she doesn't take off the whole month, she should be at 10K per month by the end of this year. Now it's like, that's 4 months total to do that. That's not that much time to get to $10,000 a month, especially like when her job, I think she was only making like maybe $6,000 a month. So it's exponentially really well. But again, it comes from knowing your numbers and understanding how you can start working back from there. Okay? So that is your bookkeeping business plan. Hopefully you learned something new today. If you have any questions, drop inside the comments below. And then check out the description. There's a lot of helpful links. There's some videos you can watch to go and learn more about marketing, more about sales. I also have a video inside of that shows how did I get to $10,000 per month in my bookkeeping firm in the first year that I did it. So the title of the video is 10K in 90 days. Go check that training out. It'll help you out a lot, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.